Living in a fast-moving generation that we live in today, where we can get everything in sometimes matters of a second, from instant oatmeal to microwavable this, microwavable that. We live in a really fast-paced society, and sometimes one of the biggest problems we want to is, like instant oatmeal, we also want instant Christian. It's this idea that we want people to convert like that, to give their life to Christ and lives to be changed instantaneously. It is our mandate as Christians, as Christ told us, to go out and make disciples, to preach the good news, to tell other people about this wonderful love of Christ. But most of the time, often, we want it to happen so instantaneously that we almost lose of the actual purpose of what Christ sent us for. For example, one of the great analogies that I've heard about this is, would you, if you went to the doctor, let's say you went to the doctor, and before the doctor even saw you, he gave you a prescription of some medication that you should take. Besides even evaluating what's wrong with you, just give you a prescription and go and say, okay, take this and go home. I'm pretty sure most of us wouldn't even take the prescription at all. We'll probably think, okay, this guy's crazy. What's wrong with this? It's the same thing with us. We often try to portray to people the solution that is Christ, but often enough, many people don't actually realize that they have this age-old disease called sin, or that they are actually lost. One of the good things that my dad once said is, you can't give direction to someone who knows the way home. So it basically means that you only give direction to someone who's lost. And Christ says he's the only way. And beside him, there's no else. So those who don't know that Christ is the way, actually, they don't know that they're lost. And once they realize that they're lost, then you can point them to. Because Christ didn't send us to make people to have a brand new name or a brand new church to attend, but he actually sent us to make people know of him, not to make people called Christian, but to make people who are willing to follow Christ. That is really the mandate. And in the walk, it's not something that happens right away. I mean, it is true that when somebody receives or decides to receive Christ in their life, it is in that moment that Christ comes into their heart and changes their heart, and then they are saved. But our walk as Christian, that is a lifetime mission. That is a goal. That is not something that somebody will start automatically acting as Christians would. As somebody would, change directly their demeanor, their habits, their attitudes. That those are something that do take time. And we are, as ambassadors of Christ, have to be patient with those who are going through that process. So the great thing about this discipleship, we understand that us ourselves also, we didn't become instant Christians, that whatever it took for us, from mentorship, from prayers, from love, from discipleship, from messages from others, we also have to reciprocate the same type of love, the same type of treatment to those who are new to the faith. So to encourage them that they're not doing this alone, that we also are maturing to the faith. You never get a master in faith. You never get a master in walking with Christ. You never achieve the epitome of faith until you're at the end of the life and you look back to what you've done. So the same attitude that we have in our lives, we also ought to portray to others who are new to the faith, who are trying to walk the same walk that we're walking. It helps them understand what you go through in your walk with Christ, and it gives them a deeper connection to Christ instead of something that has to be instantaneous on the spot. Once you give one Bible verse or another two for the person to give their life to Christ. So one thing I'm going to tell you, instant oatmeal is probably good. Instant Christian, not so much. Let's be patient and diligent with others who are new to the faith and trying to grow in their love and walk with Christ. You have to walk your faith and let them see it. You have to present Christ to them into a matter where they can be able to understand that they really need him. More than anything, remember, you're God's very best.